insecurity. A reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, 6 through 10. Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen? To loosen the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke. Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, Here am I. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. Where is the cross of food insecurity? The harsh statistics for New Mexico families are in the news. 1/3 of our children and at least 20% of our families lack sufficient food. This is from the Annie E. Casey Kids Count from 2013. As an advocate for refugee children, I see the ravages of hunger. Justin, I changed his name here, is 15, is the only English speaker in his family, so he has whole responsibility for this family. He came to the United States several years ago and was a fun-loving teen. He teased his sisters, he enjoyed sports, and he was excited to start middle school. Last summer, you would believe his family was getting adjusted despite some problems. One sister struggled, getting into fights with teachers and her peers. The youngest child has developmental delays and was totally out of control. However, the family moved from a cramped apartment into a home with a new school and neighborhood that gave them a fresh start. Justin's mother started part-time work at a donut shop. Then several months later, she was laid off without back pay for her work, a victim of wage theft, common for refugees who lack the resources to fight back. Justin's older sister ran away from home without completing high school to live with a boyfriend in another state. Justin was depressed and had little energy for friends or school. There was nothing in his refrigerator or shelves. But thanks to advocacy efforts, that was solved. The family relies on faith-based food pantries from week to week, and Justin has an after-school snack at school. His family fled a war-torn country to find security, but they are food insecure here. Let us pray. Jesus, we see you today stumbling under the weight of the cross in our neighbor's lack of adequate food. You show us that our efforts can lighten the weight of this cross. We atone for the ravages of war that displace families and leave them helpless to provide food for their families. We rejoice in relieving their burdens. Give us the courage to silence apathy and indifference as we advocate for government food programs. We want to listen eagerly to your spirit and act wisely to put an end to hunger in our city. Our hope is in the next generation of children. Not one of them should have to suffer hunger, especially when there is adequate food for everyone. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst after justice, for they shall have their fill.